Hello students, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to be looking at English grammar. And our class today is really going to be very short because the topic is actually a topic that it's not much of an issue to us. It's a topic that demands practice on our part as individuals, as students. So the topic is really going to be very short. It's just meant to guide you, just meant to expose you to how synonyms questions are set in JAM. So that's what we are going to be doing. It's not going to take much of our time. All I need for you guys to do is to practice at home. Use your JAM past questions, identify questions and synonyms, and try to answer the questions correctly. That's all I need from you guys. Let's go into the lesson proper. A specific objective which you know are stated thus. Number one specific objective is that you should be able to identify questions on synonyms in JAM. That is our main focus. We are looking at synonyms extracts from JAM. So you should be able to identify questions on synonyms in JAM. You should be able to know how they set their questions and how the questions appear. Number two specific objective is that you should be able to write out the words and the phrases correctly. Now, for every question on synonym you come across in JAM, there are instructions. These instructions could be words or phrases. You should give synonyms for them. Now you should be able to write out those words and those phrases out. That's number two specific objective. And number three specific objective for today's class is that you should be able to give synonyms for the words and the phrases appropriately. You should be able to give synonyms for the words and phrases appropriately. Now, don't forget that synonyms are simply words that are near, close, that have similar meanings. Now, like I would always tell you guys, most words in English language can be interchanged so that some other words can actually fit in and mean the same thing. So that is what we are going to be looking at today. Now let's go over to identifying questions on synonyms in JAM. Identifying questions on synonyms in JAM. Now the first thing you see when you get to the part of lexicon structure after the antonyms, the next thing you see is the synonym. And the first thing you see there is the instruction. Now the instruction actually appears in this manner. Choose the option nearest in meaning to the italicized word or phrase. Choose the option nearest in meaning to the italicized words or phrases, which means sentences will be given to you, and in that sentence or in those sentences some words or some phrases would be italicized or underlined as the case may be. Now what you're meant to do is to give words, to give other expressions from the list of options given to you that is nearest in meaning to the italicized word, so much so that the option you should choose should actually be able to fit into the sentence and mean the same thing as the italicized or the underlined expressions. Now let's look at how the questions appear. We have the first question here which says, he has never been a good mediator. He has never been a good mediator, even in minor family disputes, because in most cases his views are always jaundiced. He has never been a good mediator, even in minor family disputes, because in most cases his views are always jaundiced. Now, what the italicized expression there is jaundiced. Now we know what jaundice is, right? What jaundice is jaundice is actually a kind of sickness that changes the color of the skin and the eyes to yellow, and it's often prevalent in babies, which could be as a result of maybe a liver problem, a liver disease, or anything of such. Now we have options here. The first one is colored. Colored, it's closely related, but is it the appropriate option? Is it the appropriate synonyms? Because jaundice has to do with the yellow, the color of the skin changing to yellow. Despite the fact that it has to do with color, that is not an appropriate synonym. Now, sick. Jaundice, like we know, has to do with an ailment. When you say a baby has jaundice, it means the baby is sick. Yeah, the baby is sick because the baby would definitely need medical attention. But that is also not the appropriate synonym for that word jaundice. The next option we have here, which is option C, is suspicious. Suspicious does not go in any way. It doesn't. The next option here, which is option D, is unscrupulous. Unscrupulous, that also does not go. Now let's look at the next option, which is prejudice. What is prejudice? What does it mean? That is actually a very, very broad term. Prejudice could actually mean let's say when you draw a judgment or you draw a conclusion without getting enough facts. You draw the conclusion beforehand without getting enough facts. Prejudice could also mean you being biased. You being biased. Now, jaundice as a verb actually means also to be biased, which means a correct option is prejudiced. As you can see it here, the word that has been italicized for you to give a synonym to is jaundice, and the correct option is prejudiced, because that is the option that actually means the same thing. That is the option that is nearest in meaning to the italicized word. So much so that you could actually replace jaundice with prejudice and it will still mean the same thing. You could say he has never been a good mediator even in minor family disputes, because in most cases his views are always prejudiced. Yeah, that is one. Let's go over to the second example we have. The second one says, sitting majestically on his throne is the Oba of Benin, flanked by some of his wives. Sitting majestically on his throne is the Oba of Benin, flanked by some of his wives. Now, the italicized expression there, which means the expression that actually you are expected to give the synonym for, is flanked. Flanked. Now, what is flanked? What does flank mean? Flank actually simply means to attack. To attack. Or it could mean to actually place things on the side of someone or something. That's what flank means. Now, let's look at the expression. Don't forget, for you to be able to get the option that is nearest in meaning to the italicized expression, you have to take the meaning in context. Let's look at this expression again. Sitting majestically on his throne is the Oba of Benin, flanked by some of his wives. He is flanked by some of his wives. Could he be attacked by some of his wives? No. Because from the expression, there is no atom of an attack. There is no such atom of an attack. So he couldn't have been attacked by his wife. No. Or by his wives. And don't forget, he is the king. So there is no way his wives would have actually attacked him without the guards coming to his rescue. Now, let's look at the correct option we have for that italicized expression, the correct option there is surrounded. His wife surrounds him. He was surrounded by his wife, not attacked. It could be that he was actually telling them a story or any such thing. So, flanked there could be substituted with the word surrounded, not supported. Yeah, I know we would actually be tempted to go with option B, which is supported, but it's not supported. He's not supported because the expression says sitting majestically on his throne. He's sitting on his throne already, so he wasn't really supported, and his wives cannot guard him. He has guards, so his wife wouldn't have been there to guard him. And of course, option D can also not go because his wives don't have the capability or the capacity to protect him. His guards are there to protect him, and his wives also couldn't have neglected him, going by the meaning of flanked. So the correct option there, the correct synonym for the word flanked is surrounded. Yeah, I know that was actually very easy. Let's look at the third example. The third example says, telling Ali to break his habit of coming to work late is like knocking your head against a brick wall. Telling Ali to break his habit of coming to work late is like knocking your head against a brick wall. Now, here we have a phrase that is being italicized, which means we should give the synonym for the italicized expression, which is knocking your head against a brick wall. Now, what does that mean? And what expression do you think you can replace that phrase with? And the sentence would still mean the same thing. Now, let's look at the options we have here. Option A says trying the impossible. Now, let's actually replace it in the sentence. Telling Ali to break his habit of coming to work late is like trying the impossible. Do you think it goes? Well, for me, I think it actually goes. But anyways, let's just keep that option A pending while we actually go over other options. Option B says asking him to beat you. Does it really go? Let's actually see. Let's use it in the sentence. Telling Ali to break his habit of coming to work late is like asking him to beat you. But does asking him to beat you actually mean the same thing as knocking your head against a brick wall? I don't think so. It's far-fetched. It's not related. Knocking your head against a brick wall, asking him to beat you. No, it doesn't go. Now let's look at option C. Option C says making a fool of yourself. Knocking your head against a brick wall, is it really making a fool of yourself? No, it's not really making a fool of yourself. Yeah, so that option 2 cannot go. That option is ruled out. Now let's look at option D. Option D says asking him to be your enemy. Whoa, really? Asking him to be your enemy? Seriously? That actually is so off. That's so off. We can't go with that option. Now, option E says making him break sun at work. No. That option does not even have a meaning, which means the only option we have that actually means the same thing or that is nearest in meaning to knocking your head against a brick wall is trying the impossible. Of course, you can't just knock your head against a brick wall just like that, unless it's a mistake. So it's actually trying the impossible. Yeah, that is actually the correct option. So you could say telling Ali to break his habit of coming late to work is like trying the impossible. Reason being that lateness is part of him. Yeah, there are some people that normally they just like going to places late, they go to work late, they do everything they want to do late. So you trying to actually talk them into breaking such habits is like trying the impossible, because you know of a truth it definitely would not work. Okay, let's go over to number 4 example. Number 4 example says, the gallant soldiers met their Waterloo at Philippi. The gallant soldiers met their Waterloo at Philippi. Now, the italicized expression there is Waterloo. Waterloo. What does Waterloo mean? That is the first question that should come to your mind. Also, remember, get the meaning in context, not isolated. Now, the gallant soldiers, it means the soldiers were gallant. They are up and doing. They are strong. They have been fighting and they've been winning. But they met their Waterloo. Does that ring a bell? I think that actually portrays negativity. They are gallant, or they were gallant, whichever, but they met their Waterloo. So that portrays negativity. It shows negativity. Let's look at the options we have. Option A says victory. Could victory actually go? I don't think so. Victory shows positivity. The gallant soldiers met their victory. We can't really say Waterloo means victory, because the gallant soldiers, they met something. Yeah, trouble. It's not really trouble per se. And don't forget, what does Waterloo mean? Waterloo actually simply means like when you are encountered with a challenge that tends to weigh you down or bring you down because the challenge overpowers you. That's Waterloo. Now, see that is the meaning of Waterloo. What do you think the nearest synonym to Waterloo would be? Let's say option C. Option C says defeat. Option C is defeat. Do you think defeat is actually the correct option? Well, for me, and of course, option C is the correct option. The gallant soldiers met their defeat at Philippi. The gallant soldiers met their defeat at Philippi. Okay, now let's look at the last example, which is example 5. Example 5 says, Yahaya hardly knows on which side his bread is buttered in the matter. Yahaya hardly knows on which side his bread is buttered in the matter. That is number 5 example and the last example. Now, the italicized expression is on which side his bread is buttered. On which side his bread is buttered. Now, we have a list of options here, but the correct synonym is okay, let's look at the words. The option A says where his interest lies, on which side his bread is buttered. What does it mean? Let's assume you have a bread. Yeah. And one side of the bread is buttered. What do you think that means? What do you think that entails? What can you say about that? Or someone offers to butter your bread. It means the person to a large extent has your interest at heart. You're favored. Yeah, the person likes you. The person wants to help you. So, Yahaya hardly knows on which side his bread is buttered. On which side his bread is buttered in the matter. Which side seems favorable to him? Which side is better? Which side is he at advantaged? That is what on which side his bread is buttered mean. Which means a correct option is option A, where his interest lies. Where his interest lies. So, like I said earlier, the class is very, very short and we have come to the end of the class. Now you have to practice on your own. You have to use your jump pass questions answer questions on synonyms. Try on your own to write out the words, try to give synonyms for them, go through the questions, and don't forget, you have to get the meaning in context. You have to know the meaning of the word as on its own. You have to know the meaning of the word on its own as an isolated entity, and then you have to also know the meaning of the word in context, in the aspect of its usage in the sentence. It's really going to help you. It's really going to guide you to actually getting the correct synonyms and the correct expression that means almost the same thing as the one used in the sentence. Now, before I leave, there is an assignment. Just turn your jam pass question over to year 2005 and answer the questions on synonyms. Do submit it via my Google Classroom platform. You guys have really been awesome lately. Believe you me, I'm so happy you have been turning in your work. I'm so glad. And for those of you who are still yet to do what others are doing, you've not been submitting, please do what others are doing. Submit your work. See you guys in the next class. I love you guys and continue to stay safe.